5 places people call impossible: Newgrange, the Terracotta Army, Baalbek, Ellora, and Kerma, and what actually built them. In a quarry outside a Roman temple in Lebanon sits a 1,650-ton block of stone, cut and abandoned, never moved an inch. It's not proof of aliens. It's proof somebody found a flaw before it became a disaster. 5 places, 5 continents worth of internet hype, nobody knows how, technology we don't have, aliens, lost civilizations, secret tunnels. Every one of those claims has a real, published, checkable answer, and in every case, the actual answer is more impressive than the myth people made up to replace it. So here's what actually built each one, and who worked it out. Start in Ireland, in the Boyne Valley. Around 3200 BC, a settled farming community built a mound out of roughly 200,000 tons of stone and earth, centuries before the Great Pyramid at Giza, centuries before Stonehenge's main stones went up. 97 curbstones ring the base. Some are carved with spirals and lozenges nobody has fully decoded. A passage 19 meters long runs into a cruciform chamber under a corbelled stone roof. Above the entrance is a roof box, an opening roughly a meter wide. For about a week around the winter solstice, sunlight travels the full passage and briefly lights the chamber. Archaeologist Michael O'Kelly, of University College Cork, watched it happen himself on the 21st of December, 1967, during his own excavation. He'd spent 13 field seasons on this site, from 1962 to 1975, funded and rebuilt by Ireland's Office of Public Works. His monograph came out in 1982. This isn't folklore, it's a documented find by the archaeologist who dug the place. Now the corrections. No, this wasn't aliens, there's zero excavation evidence for that, ever. No, the technology isn't unexplained, rollers, levers, ramps, and organized labor are well understood for this period. And no, the solstice alignment wasn't invented for television in the 1960s, a claim that made the rounds online. The Office of Public Works has 1935 and 1954 photographs, plus O'Kelly's own excavation notes, showing the roof box predates any modern restoration. One more correction, the bright white quartz face you see in every photo is a 1970s reconstruction, built from quartz found collapsed at the base of the mound. Its original arrangement is still debated, don't mistake it for untouched 5,000-year-old fabric. In 2020, a genetic study of a man buried in the most elaborately decorated recess of the chamber found he was the child of a first-degree incestuous union, parent and child, or full siblings. That points to a socially sanctioned ruling elite, not just a communal tomb. How long the whole build took, years or decades, is still unsettled. What isn't unsettled is that it was planned with real precision, by real people, in real time. Move to Xi'an, China. In March of 1974, farmers digging a well hit the head of a soldier who'd been standing guard underground for over 2,000 years. That soldier was one of an entire buried army. Pit 1 alone holds more than 6,000 life-size infantry figures, plus chariots and horses, across 14,260 square meters. Pits 2 and 3 add cavalry, crossbowmen, and a command post, over 7,000 warriors total, about 600 horses, 100 chariots. Every face looks individual, but they're not sculpted from nothing each time. About 8 standard head molds cover regional and ethnic types from across the empire, each one was hand-finished afterward for hair, expression, and armor. Construction began in 246 BCE, when the future first emperor took the throne at 13. It ran roughly 38 years, through unification in 221 BCE, to 208 BCE, 2 years after his death. Historian Sima Qian names the project explicitly. This is one of the best documented builds in the ancient world. The museum over Pit 1 opened in 1979, the whole site became a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1987, 8 years after farmers found that first head. Over 40,000 bronze weapons have been recovered so far, and this is a fraction of the site. The 2009 to 2022 excavation campaign in Pit 1 covered only about 430 of its 14,000 square meters. Sima Qian also described an underground palace beneath the burial mound, rivers of mercury representing the Yangtze, the Yellow River, and the sea, under a ceiling of constellations. The tomb itself has never been opened. In 2020, a peer-reviewed study in Scientific Reports used mobile laser radar scanning above the mound and measured atmospheric mercury nearly 3 times regional background levels, consistent with a large mercury deposit slowly leaking through cracks in the sealed structure. That doesn't confirm mechanically circulated rivers, that detail is still unverified. What it confirms is that a real, large mercury deposit is down there, roughly where the 2,000-year-old text said it would be. A 2025 study traced likely sourcing to ancient cinnabar mines near Xuanyang, about 100 kilometers away. It's not sealed because of legendary booby traps. Sima Qian mentions crossbow traps, but nobody's verified that. It's sealed because conservation science still can't guarantee painted or organic material survives once a chamber this size meets open air. Now the centerpiece. Baalbek, Lebanon, a Roman temple complex where the Temple of Jupiter went up starting soon after 16 BC, largely finished by 60 AD, on a site with occupation going back to the Bronze Age. In its podium wall sits the trilithon, 3 stones, each about 19 meters long and roughly 800 tons. Beneath them, about 24 more monoliths average 300 tons each. Half a mile away, still sitting in the quarry, is the stone of the pregnant woman, 20 meters long, never separated from bedrock, weighing around 1,000 tons. It was abandoned mid-cut, along with an even larger neighbor, because the stone had a flaw that risked cracking in transport. That's a practical quarrying call, not a mystery. In 2014, the German Archaeological Institute, working with Lebanese archaeologist Janine Abdul Masih, uncovered a third block nearby, 19.6 meters long, estimated at around 1,650 tons. Also never freed, also never moved. Here's the internet's favorite claim: nobody knows how they moved these. Untrue. Engineer Jean-Pierre Adam published the answer in 1977, rollers, capstans, and lever systems on timber trackways. A comparable 557-ton block could be hauled by about 500 workers with period technology. And the quarry sits slightly higher than the temple platform. These stones weren't lifted straight up by some unexplained force, they were moved downhill, under control, on rollers, for about 800 meters. Now the other favorite claim, that Baalbek holds the largest stone ever cut by human hands. Also untrue, stated that way. Baalbek's blocks are the largest known cut stones from classical antiquity specifically. The Yangshan Quarry Stele near Nanjing, from Ming Dynasty China, is far bigger, over 16,000 tons, also cut and also abandoned. This isn't a closed case either. Germany's Archaeological Institute has run a continuous joint research project with Lebanon's Antiquities Authority since the early 2000s, studying Baalbek from the Neolithic through the Ottoman period. The precise route and choreography for hauling the trilithon stones isn't excavated in detail. Adam's model is a plausible reconstruction, not a blueprint. The dating of any pre-Roman cult phase on this hill is also genuinely debated. But the headline fact needs no embellishment: Roman engineers moved and precisely set multiple 800-ton stones using rollers, levers, and human labor, at a scale with almost no peer in the Roman world. That's the real story, and it's better than the myth. Fourth stop, Ellora, Maharashtra, India. Cave 16 is the Kailasa Temple, the largest single monolithic rock excavation on Earth, a complete freestanding temple carved from one continuous mass of basalt. Ellora's wider site holds roughly 100 caves, dated by India's Archaeological Survey from the 6th through 12th centuries AD, Buddhist, Hindu, and Jain, strung along more than 2 kilometers of cliff face. Kailasa is the standout, not the whole story. Consensus credits Rashtrakuta King Krishna I, who ruled around 757 to 773 AD, though there's no surviving on-site dedication, so some scholars think later rulers finished the decoration. Somewhere between 150 and 200,000 tons of rock came out of that hillside. The courtyard runs about 82 meters by 46, the main tower rises nearly 33 meters above the court. The method, 3 deep vertical trenches cut first, into the slope, then rock carved and removed downward and inward, shrine, halls, gateway, and life-size elephant sculptures, all left behind rather than built up. Every other cave at Ellora was tunneled horizontally. This one wasn't. Builders exploited the basalt's natural joint planes to cut labor. Archaeologist M.K. de Valaker modeled the job at about 250 workers, cutting roughly 4 cubic feet of rock each per day, enough to finish the core excavation in about 5.5 years, full decoration in 10 to 12. No extraterrestrial help, no unexplained tools required. Iron hammers, iron chisels, a documented labor-saving technique, and a scholarly time estimate that holds up. There's also no secret tunnel network to other continents. That claim doesn't appear in any ASI, UNESCO, or peer-reviewed source. It's an unsourced invention, and worth saying so directly. The design itself has a traceable lineage. Kailasa's shrine resembles the Virupaksha temple at Patadakal, itself partly modeled on the Kailasa Temple at Kanchipuram, a real South Indian architectural tradition, not a one-off. What's still unsettled is the exact build sequence, the workforce size beyond de Valaker's model, and whether one king's reign really accounts for the whole thing. Reasonable uncertainty, not mystery. Last stop, Kerma, Sudan, near the Nile's third cataract. The Kerma culture, capital of the Kingdom of Kush, ran roughly 2500 to 1500 BCE, contemporary with Egypt's Old, Middle, and early New Kingdoms. It was built and ruled by indigenous Nubians, not an Egyptian colony. That used to be a live scholarly debate, and it got resolved by digging, not by argument. The western Defufa still stands, about 20 meters of sun-dried mud brick, built after 1750 BCE, with an earlier phase beneath it going back to around 2400 BCE. Defufa is Nubian for mud brick building. Only 3 of them survive anywhere, all 3 here. By around 1700 BCE the city held at least 10,000 people, one of the earliest urban centers in sub-Saharan Africa. Royal tomb mounds reached 90 meters across, ringed by thousands of cattle skulls and gold, quartz, and amethyst jewelry. Harvard's George Reisner excavated here from 1913 to 1916 and got the interpretation wrong. He called it an Egyptian outpost. It took Swiss archaeologist Charles Bonnet, digging from 1976 onward and documenting around 30,000 burials, to prove it was a genuine indigenous city. In 2003, Bonnet's team found fragments of 7 monumental black granite statues of Kushite pharaohs at nearby Daki Gel, now in the Kerma Museum. Kerma also independently developed blue faience production, and a bronze forge with no known parallel anywhere else in Egypt or Sudan at the time. And one supposed certainty turns out to be softer than the headlines suggest. Recent bioarchaeology found no clear skeletal difference between sacrificed, burials and others in the royal tombs, so even that detail is still being worked out. This kingdom got strong enough during Egypt's weak Second Intermediate period to raid into Upper Egypt and ally with the Hyksos. It did not conquer Egypt outright, keep that distinction precise. Egypt hit back hard once reunified. Thutmose I campaigned into Nubia around 1504 BCE, and Thutmose III finished the conquest by about 1450 BCE. No cover-up here, and it was never actually lost to scholarship, continuously excavated and published since 1913. What happened is smaller and more honest. 20th-century Egyptologists centered the pharaohs in museums and textbooks. Sudan has far less tourism infrastructure than Egypt, and the public awareness gap became the whole story. A wealthy, organized African kingdom, powerful enough to invade its famous neighbor, still has a mud brick tower standing after 3,700 years. It's not hidden. It's just undertold. 5 places, 5 real answers. An archaeologist who watched the light move down a passage in 1967, a laser that found real mercury still leaking from a sealed tomb, an engineer who published the actual math on moving 800-ton stones, a labor estimate for a mountain carved from the top down that holds up under review, and a kingdom that was never lost to scholarship, just undercovered by everyone else. None of that needed aliens. It needed farmers, emperors, Roman engineers, Indian sculptors, and Nubian kings, and it needed people paying attention, then and now. Decide for yourself what's still genuinely open. Just decide it with the actual evidence, not the compilation video. 5 places, 5 real answers, and none of them needed a myth. Tell us which one you want us to go deeper on.